So today's recipe is one that's brand new to me, but apparently it's been around for generations, and it's super healthy and super good.
Yeah, and here to share that recipe in our CI kitchen from the Family to Table blog is our guest chef, Natalie Kenny Marquez, back with us with a chow chow recipe. We're not familiar with chow chow.
Neither was I until I read my great-great-grandma's journal, and then I thought, oh, all right. So I've seen this recipe, you guys, for years and never had the guts to make it, along with some of her jams and jellies, because there's so many ingredients and there's a bit of a process, and I feel like at least my generation, if there's more than like a handful of ingredients or it takes more than a handful of minutes, we probably won't make it.
We could never survive in the 1950s where everything was all about, I mean, but these are great recipes that are healthy and fresh because we haven't made them before.
Right, they're with ingredients that you either grow in your garden or you can get right in your own backyard, whether it be at the farmer's market or a farm stand. I mean, everything is Illinois grown and raised, which I love. But some of those recipes do intimidate me, like this one. So when I Googled chow chow, because I was like, I'm gonna have to talk about this on TV. Of course, the dog came on TV on the screen. I'm like, no. But it's something that I think has southern roots to it. There's also variations of it that come from the Northeast. I've seen variations that have chili powder or spice in it. So I liken it to a cross between a relish and a salsa. So when I was making this, my kids were like, are you making hot dogs? Because I think they smelled like relish or pickles because there's vinegar and there's sugar in it.
Interesting that your kids like relish on their hot dogs and associate those smells together. So anyways, off track. What goes into chow chow?
So it's the ingredients, there's not a whole lot. It just takes a little time. So we've got cabbage, green tomatoes, and it has to be green, red pepper, and onion.
Okay.
So these are ripe green tomatoes, or they're unripened?
So those are just green tomatoes. I had a few that started to turn a little red because I had them on the counter for a little bit too long. But.
Okay.
So I guess this is a dumb question. You know, when your tomatoes are green before they turn red, that's technically a green tomato.
That's when you make your fried green tomatoes.
Okay.
So they're very hard. They're not ripe.
Yeah.
So when I cut it, it was kind of like cutting an apple slice, almost. I mean, obviously very moist and seedy inside.
Okay, so here they are all chopped up.
Yes. So great-great-grandma's recipe originally had like 23 pounds of green tomatoes in it.
Oh, my word.
There was a little bit of like cutting of the recipe, you know?
That's a lot of chow chow.
I cut and cut and cut this recipe down to a TV manageable proportion.
Okay.
So,
thank you. Yeah, or a family manageable proportion. What would you do with 23 pounds of tomatoes?
You would can it, and then you would eat this chow chow all winter long.
There it is. Okay.
So I've been soaking this overnight with salt, and I drained it the best that I could to get some of the liquid out. And so
Why salt?
That takes a lot of the moisture out of it, and so that's why you drain the liquid, because you don't want it to be too soupy, because we're going to add some more liquid to it now as we get it started here. But now the next step is to cook it for about 15 minutes with some vinegar diluted with water, and she's very specific about that. In her recipe, she made multiple variations of, dilute it with some water. And then sugar is the next piece that goes in here.
That's a lot of sugar.
Don't look.
Oh my God.
Not keto friendly for Heather here right now.
You had me until the sugar. Okay.
And then she's got allspice and cloves, ginger, and cinnamon. And those are the last ingredients that go in there.
So this is a sweet chow chow.
It is sweet and it's sour from the vinegar. So we'll cook it for 15 minutes. And then the next step is to put it in either a refrigerator container that's nice and sealed or to can it. So we'll cook it for 15 minutes, and then we will
And this is just like a side dish.
Side dish or garnish. I think it'd be really good on like a spicy barbecue sandwich instead of a coleslaw. Put it on your hot dog or,
Oh, on the hot dog. I like that idea.
Or brat. The cabbage is kind of like,
This is really good for when you have extra things coming out of the garden this summer. You don't know what to do with it.
The stink.
Right there.
Okay, you're going to keep stirring. Get that going for 15 minutes. We'll have the big reveal. In the meantime, check out Natalie's blog with all of her family to table recipes, which we've actually got on CILiving.tv right now. Go check it out.
Kind of farm to table, since these come from great-grandma Nellie's farm.
Yeah. So cool.